Yes, I see that coming. Can we also talk about the two ends of the stick? There's doing allowing and there's being allowing. And I find myself sometimes over here, well, I have to do this. I want this, so I'm going to do this to allow it. I'm going to do that to allow it.
Well, action can be very fun. Action is fun, and this is something people worry about. When we talk about the art of allowing, we talk about letting things come to you. We talk about the law of attraction that is really the engine of all of this. We talk about the fairies of the universe that orchestrate everything, and sometimes people think that we are really wanting to teach you non-action, and that isn't the case at all, because action is a delicious part of your physical environment. We just know that if you don't take the time to align vibrationally with your desire, that there's not enough action in the world to compensate. And there are so many people that have come to believe that they make things happen through their action, and so the last thing they attempt to do is get in alignment with what they want, and then life's very hard. It takes a lot of time to make things happen, where when you get in the flow of the energy first, now the action is inspired. And so the way we would apply action to our experience, if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would do more visualizing, more imagining, more remembering, more making lists of things that make us feel good, more rampages of appreciation, more fun things, more things like this that just lead you into the place of feeling better more naturally. And then from that place of deliberate, often alignment, we would follow whatever action is inspired. We watched Esther some time ago. They were getting ready to take a series of trips, and Esther needed to make many airline reservations, and she just felt unwilling to do it. She could not make herself go do this job that she knew she should do. And Jerry was politely at first saying to her, "Have you made the reservations yet?" And Esther would say, "No, but it's on my list. I'm going to do that." And then Jerry would say, "Have you made those reservations yet?" And Esther would say, "No, but I'm going to. I'm going to do it." And she would go in to do it, and she just could not motivate herself to do it. And then Jerry, wanting to remind her and maybe motivate her a little bit, said, "You know, the longer you wait, the less opportunities for timing we will have, and the more the ticket will cost." And Esther would say, I know. I'm going to do, I need to do that. But she could not make herself do it. And then one night, she is lying in the bed, getting ready to go to sleep, and all of a sudden has this overwhelming desire to go and make those reservations. No prodding, no one having to remind her. It was just such a wonderful idea. So she got up and got out her day timer and got out her telephone numbers and made the telephone call and rendezvoused with the most delightful person at Continental Airlines, who booked every flight exactly as she wanted it, upgraded them to first class in every single case with the miles and coupons that she had saved, and in less time than she usually spent making one airline reservation, she made them all. And she said, for the first time, she really understood inspiration as compared to motivation. Everything was lined up. She hadn't been beating the drum of not being a good person about not getting it done. She was in a clear space. In other words, she had been launching the intentions. In fact, every contrasting experience about that had caused her to launch the intention. And just like we were talking about earlier, those culminations are out there spattered through every single day. All kinds of wonderful culminations. Sometimes you worry that you will miss your boat.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do. And we say to you, there is always another and always another and always another and always another and always another. In fact, with everything that you desire, the universe has orchestrated not fewer than 20 potential things ready to pop right now. Right now. And so when you get into this habit of just feeling good first, then things are popping. And in time, you are one who just follows the inspiration. You don't need to do anything. You don't make yourself do anything. You just do what you want to do. Oh, this is a good idea. Oh, this is a good idea. And then we hear back from you. Oh, am I ever so glad I followed this inspiration because this happened and this happened and this happened. It's happening to you all over the place, isn't it, you see? So what are our final words about action? Never do it unless it really feels like a good idea. So you say, but Abraham, I have a job. I have children. I have beds to make and dishes to wash and meals to cook and people that expect me to be at work. If I only did what I wanted to do, I wouldn't do most of what I'm doing every day. You live in a non-physical world where you don't even have a bed to make. We're not sure, you say, that we can really rely on your non-action lifestyle. And we say, if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would do the things that you feel that you need to do in order to keep yourself on an even footing. Now, let's apply this action to this moving up the emotional scale that we've been talking about here, because you hear us saying you got to start wherever you are. In other words, there's no point in trying to follow your bliss if you're nowhere near it. But there's something worth following somewhere very close to where you are. And once you get a bead on it, you're going to move right up to wherever it is that you want to be, and much faster than most believe when they first begin the process. So when you are in this place where you're trying to figure out what action to do, whether you should do it or whether you should do something else instead, if you will apply the same emotional scale process to the action. And what we mean by that is, so here you are, you're standing here, and let's say you're in a place of not wanting to go to work. You really don't want to go. You've been on a cruise. Everything has been so much fun. There have been so many things to see. Everything has been so satisfying. And now you're on your way to something that does not compare, at least in your mind, to all of that. And so you have this strong sensation of bondage. In other words, I have to do something that I don't want to do. And so you stand here and you say, well, what would Abraham do? Well, Abraham says, don't do anything you don't feel like doing. And you say, okay, I'm just not going to go to work. And we say, when you stop and think a thought like that, you have to stop and say, how does that feel? In other words, how does it feel to make that decision right now? Well, you could make that decision down the road. Eventually, I'm not going to go to work, and that thought feels just fine. So that's a thought that is along your vibrational path. In other words, your guidance system is leading you to that thought. But if you say, I'm not going to work ever again, I'm not going today, you can tell by the way you feel. This is not a good plan. Your Magellan is not saying, go this way. Your Magellan is saying, when possible, make a legal U-turn, because you can feel the constriction. You can feel, I will be disappointing people. There are people that are counting on me. My paycheck is dependent upon the dollars that I'm receiving. There are all kinds of things that you begin to feel that let you know that that wasn't the best idea. So then you say, well, I will go to work. I don't want to go to work, but I will go to work. And you feel a sort of relief coming over you. You might even call it resignation. And you say, well, this feeling of resignation feels better to me than my determination that I was not going to go to work. And so then, as you're on your way going to work, you're beginning to resist again. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to be with those people. I want to be with people that think more like I do. I want to do more of the things that I want to do. And you start feeling the knot coming back. You start realizing that these thoughts are not on the path. And then you begin thinking, well, but there are things about going to work that are good for me. Dollars will come from that. And there are people there that I am enjoying working with. And I have appreciated the expansion of my own person as I am getting to apply my skills in these ways. And this environment is preparing me for some other things that I might want to do later. And as you love yourself enough to talk yourself into alignment about something that you can't not do without causing more misalignment. Do you hear that? You come into alignment about this thing that you didn't want to do, so much so that it takes the sting out of it, and you find yourself not wanting to do it, not loving the idea of doing it, but feeling all right about doing it. And with that much movement in your energy, work will be different on this day than it ever was before, because you are a new person under the universe. You moved your vibration enough and followed the action that matched the vibration that you moved to, and now everything that is coming to you will be vibrationally different. So this is a day that you get more attention from people who haven't noticed you. This is the day that you're particularly clear about what you do. This is a day that in your clarity you perform in a way that someone that matters notices and recognizes you in a way you've never been recognized before. And now you've moved all the way from not even wanting to go to work, from dreading going to work, to being resigned to going to work, to being willing to go to work, to going to work, to being proud about being at work. In other words, here I am, tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Who'd have thought it? Yes.
Very good.
And what you begin to notice is those surprises are everywhere. That's what we mean when we say it's not just out there on the next cruise. It's not just out there on the next anniversary or the next birthday or the next engagement. In other words, those are high points, yes. But every day is full of potential rendezvous points. And rendezvous with source is as high as it gets. And it matters not the framework in which the rendezvous takes place. That's what makes the world go round. If everybody just wanted to be on the cruise ship, there would be some things missing in your environment. In other words, isn't it lovely that there are all kinds of people at all kinds of readiness to allow all kinds of well-being in all kinds of different ways? And so what your new mantra is I'm going to make the best of it now. I'm going to let as much well-being into my experience as I have the vibrational capacity to stand. Yes. Yes. Something more?
Not really, other than I love your concept of fairies of the universe. It's just...
Well, it gets us in trouble from time to time because everyone wants to make everything literal. And we mean that there are helpers everywhere. But we're talking about this law of attraction engine. We're talking about the premise of the universe. We're talking about the stream of well-being that flows. And we're talking about your alignment with that. And of course, you know that as you have your death experience, that you will have that quantum leap right up the vibrational scale. In other words, death is the ultimate quantum leap as you leave behind all resistance and reemerge into non-physical. But we adore it when you have your connection while you're still here in your physical body. You can wait till you die. It's all right. But it's nice. It's so nice when it happens here.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Some more things you're wanting to talk about. Yes. Here. Here. Here.